Good morning. Buenos dias. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here this morning with us at our first United Council of Parents meeting for this school year, 22-23. My name is Rebecca Morales. I am the Executive Director for Federal and State Programs. I see a lot of familiar faces, several of you that have been joining us throughout the years and have been attending our sessions. Before we begin, I just want to do a quick test for those of you that have the translator sets. Can you all hear me? Those of you, can you give me a thumbs up if you have a translator? If you can hear me okay. Yes? Perfect. If you're having any issues with your translators throughout the meeting, please raise your hand and one of my staff members will come up to assist you. Before I pass on now, today's topic is something that we know is a very hot topic right now for families, for school districts, school safety. And so we wanted to make sure that this was the first topic of the year that we give you information as far as what we are doing as a school district to make sure that our students and our staff are safe. But before I pass it on to our presenters this morning and before I introduce them, I want to introduce some very special people. If I could have my staff come over here to the front. Our federal program staff, beginning with our Family and Community Engagement Coordinator, Ms. Roxanne Villagomez. Our Parent Engagement Facilitator, Ms. Marisol Gonzalez. Now, these two ladies are actually at our Family Center on Highway 83. Can I see a show of hands? Has anybody gone to our Family Center? Yay! Yes, awesome. Okay, I'm very happy to hear that. If you have not, please visit us. We have a lot of things going on there. And so I'm going to go ahead and continue just with names because I have a very big staff. But all of these people here were very crucial to putting this on for you all parents. You all are very important to us, and we want to make sure that you feel special here with us this morning because you are very special to us here at United ISD. So this is Sara Hernandez, Ms. Isabel Stelema, Ms. Ana Priscilla Dominguez, Vanessa Rayner, Ms. Perla Gonzalez, Amanda Lopez, Gladys Guerrero, Janet Ruiz, Valerie Guerrero, Melissa Lozano, Miriam Gonzalez, Lourdes Minton, Juan Livas, Norma Flores, Robert Ruiz, Orlando Contreras, and Ms. Monica Reyes. I believe I have everybody. So this is my staff at Federal Programs. We're here to assist you if there's anything that we can do for you. Thank you, guys. I also want to introduce some very special guests with us this morning that are over here in the back of the room. First of all, my boss, Ms. Laida Benavides. She's our Chief Financial Officer. Our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. David H. Gonzalez. Also joining us, we have our Director of Guidance and Counseling, Ms. Melissa Ramirez. And now, without further ado, we have our Safety and Crisis Department that is going to be presenting to you all this morning. The leaders of that department are Mrs. Gloria Rendon, who is our Deputy Superintendent, and our Safety and Crisis Response Manager, Mr. Ruben Ayala. I'll go ahead and pass it on to them. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, beautiful day and enjoying breakfast. I'm Gloria Rendon, Deputy Superintendent for United Independent School District, and les quiero dar la bienvenida primeramente a esta junta, ¿verdad? Es la primera junta que iniciamos para este año escolar. So welcome all of you to our first meeting of this year. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our school safety. More than anything else, the areas not necessarily dealing with bullying or anything, but more of what we have done to strengthen our schools on our security measures. All right, so that's what Mr. Ayala will be talking to you about. But first of all, I want to see what you all know about United ISD. ¿Qué es lo que saben ustedes del distrito de nosotros? Okay? Como que tantos estudiantes creen que tenemos nosotros? What is our enrollment? You all have any idea? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. About 41,320 students to be exact, as of today. All right, 40,000 estudiantes. So, quiero que sepan, somos un distrito muy grande, okay? 30 escuelas primarias, 30 elementary schools, right? 13 middle schools, 13 secundarias, 4 preparatorias, que le llamamos 4, pero aparte de las 4 tenemos los 4 planteles de los grados noveno. ¿Ok? So, somos un distrito bastante grande. Más o menos como que tantos empleados tenemos para servir a nuestros estudiantes de 41,000. But how many employees do you think we have? Huh? Not double. I wish that would be really good, sir. But not double. But how many students does it take to support our students? Any idea? Let me give you an idea. We are the largest employer of the county. All right? Somos la compañía que tiene más empleados en nuestro condado. Casi 7,000 estudiantes en personal. 7,000. Para proveer los servicios a todos, ¿verdad? Los estudiantes que tenemos. ¿Okay? Y ya saben que vamos hasta Kennedy Zapata, ¿sabes? El Río Bravo, el Cenizo, las minas y hasta el carretera 59 y 359. So, hacemos una área bastante grande, ¿verdad? En mías, ¿verdad? Que estamos muy extendidos en ese aspecto, ¿verdad? Nomás en comparación, para que sepan, el otro distrito que hay aquí en Laredo tiene 22,000 estudiantes. All right. So, antes, cuando yo estaba en la escuela, Laredo ISD era mucho más grande y United ISD era el distrito chico. Ahora es mucho al revés. Se quedó central, Laredo ISD, y United ISD creció todas las áreas de afuera y que seguimos creciendo. Hay una escuela nueva que se abrió este año escolar, Molina Middle. Para 2 años se abren 2 escuelas, una reemplace para Clark Elementary y la otra escuela secundaria en las minas es Juan Roberto Ramírez Middle School. So, esas se abren 2 años también, nada más para que sepan. Right. Antes de seguir con la presentación, sí quería darle las gracias a mi equipo, ¿verdad? También, por favor, si se levantan, mi equipo. Los quiero presentar a ustedes para que sepan las áreas que trabajamos. Primeramente voy a empezar con Alfredo Hernández, ¿okay? Él hace todo atrás de las escenas, ¿verdad? Y nos ayuda bastante en nuestras áreas. Oscar Guerrero es bienvenido al equipo de nosotros. También ha sido un modelo ejemplar para el departamento. Y la más nueva es Miss Elvira Salinas, que va a hacer los Behavior Threat Assessments components, all right? Y voy a pasarles a Mr. Ayala para la presentación. Gracias.
Thank you, parents. So first, I would like to again extend a thank you to Ms. Morales for having us here, because this is a very important topic, and I'm glad we were able to be the first to present on this topic. Just a little bit about myself. So this is my 23rd year with the district. I've had roles from a teacher to an assistant principal. I worked in the discipline management department most recently, and now with safety. And so on a personal note, safety is also very important for me. I have a son that attends our school. I have a wife that teaches at one of our schools. She has 2 sisters that teach at our schools. My sister teaches at the schools. So we're a family of educators, and we're a family that I feel like I have now the opportunity to protect along with all of our students and staff. The way I consider and I want their safety is the way I want the safety for every one of your students that is on our campus, and all of our staff members as well. So that's how important and how I take this role. Today, though, I do want to just one more time. I cannot say enough about the staff that I work with. It is an honor and a pleasure. They are I call them the dream team, because they do so much, and they are a vital part of everything that we get done in this department. So today, our objective, or what we'll be covering, is the standard response protocols, as well as some safety tips. So why is it that I thought that this was the most important topic to cover on our first meeting? So it's part of the training that we do for our students and for our staff at the beginning of the year. It gives you the guide of our protocols for whatever situation that you're in. We have a response. They're standard across the district. And these same protocols are used pretty much in multiple districts all over the state, and all over the United States as well. They are provided by the I Love You Guys Foundation. It's a great foundation, and they've put a lot of work into this over many, many years. So the standard response protocols provide UISD with standard terminology to assign actions needed to safely respond to a variety of situations which may pose a risk to the safety or well-being of our students. So that's what it is. Now, why is it so important for me to present that to you today? And so there's two main reasons that I wanted to touch on this. One, many of our parents do visit our campuses like you're here today, or the campus of your child. And at any point when you're visiting, one of these protocols could be called, whether it be a drill or an actual event. And it's important for you also as parents to know what to do and what actions to take if these are called. Secondly, if your student, your child, your son, your daughter, comes home and says, you know what, Mom, what, Dad, today we had a hold, today we had a lockdown. You already now know or have an idea of what it is that they went through, what they did, or maybe even why they called. And that's also part of what I'll cover today is why we would call certain protocols. And at every presentation that I give to parents, my goal is for me to give some information, but for it not to stay here. My goal is always for this to start a conversation with your son or daughter. It's a vital part. And so if you notice, our title was United in School Safety. It is a united effort from all of our staff, from all of our teachers, from all of our students, from all of our parents, and for the entire community. For us to keep our students safe, it will take every one of us working together to make sure that we can keep them safe. So this is what you'll see at most campuses. If I just noticed it here, when you went to the bathroom, if you go to the men's restroom, it's posted outside the door. It'll be posted all over your child's campus. And these are the protocols that we use, and these are the basic instructions. Teachers even have a card. That's a little cheat sheet, because we also know that in certain situations, if it's a high-stress situation, we want something for them to reference it. So this is what's posted. This is what's in every classroom, and this is what's in every campus. And so this is what we're going to cover today. First of all, we have a hold. So in every one of these, I'm going to go over what it is and why we would call it. So what is a hold? A hold for the students is to clear the hallways, remain in a room or area until an all clear is called. And they continue with their business as usual. And so what business as usual means in this case is we're going to continue with instruction. We're not going to stop instruction. What was happening in the classroom will continue to happen in the classroom. For the adults, they close and lock door, account for students and adults, and we'll usually have them note the time as well. And they continue as well. They're going to continue teaching, and they're going to continue with instructions. So the main focus of this one is we need to clear the halls. So this could be called for several reasons, in varying in degree. For example, happened at one of our campuses, one of our employees is having a medical emergency. So staff members in the hallway having a medical emergency, we do not want students going out and having to witness this, and we want to make sure that we have emergency EMT come in or nurse and administer those life-saving strategies. What we don't want is to have the students have to witness that. So that's one reason we would call a hold. Another one may be a fight. So a fight's happening in the hallway. We want to keep everybody in their classrooms. We want everybody out of there, that our police officers, our security, our administration handle that situation. And then this way we can then, once we have an all clear, they continue with their day, the day goes on. So that's what a hold is, okay? It could even be that we have a campus where a snake got into the hallway. So there is a safety issue, and now it's on campus. So very important for a hold. This is a safety issue on campus. All right. Try to hide it. It won't go. Okay. So next one is a secure. So for a secure, in this case, it's something outside. So our actions for adults or for students is return inside of building, do business as usual. Now, in this case, it's something that's happening off our campus, nearby maybe in the neighborhood, but it's not on our campus. So we can continue, move around the building, we can go to the restroom, we can do all of those things, versus a hold, you're in your classroom and we're staying in the classroom, okay? For the adults, they bring everyone indoors. So for example, if the football team is outside practicing, this is somewhere where we want to bring them in. The band is outside practicing. This is somewhere where we want to bring them into the campus. Lock outside doors, increase situational awareness, account for students and adults, and do business as usual. So if you notice in all of these, we also want to take account of students. In any one of these protocols, it could always move up, and they could always escalate. And so if they escalate, we want to already be prepared. So our teachers are already trained, they're prepared. If it doesn't escalate, great. Then we continue on with our day and we go on with what we need to. So why would we call a secure? Okay, so this one's a little bit different. The threat is not inside our campus, so why would we want to keep all our exterior gates, our exterior doors locked and make sure that we have elevated security? Is what we'll do. Our police officers, maybe we'll have some more police officers attend this or come to this area. Well, this would be for multiple things. And so we have a very good relationship with our law enforcement. LPD, sheriff's deputies. If there's ever a situation happening off campus that is actually a threat to our campus, it's coming somewhere near, somewhere close, could have been they pulled somebody over, they tried to evade, they ran off, and they're going towards our campus. They will immediately call our dispatch. Dispatch will call the police officer at our campus. They will call a secure. This usually will come from law enforcement. So the secure will usually be initiated by law enforcement, okay? Is there a threat on our campus right now? Not at this point. But we're gonna make sure we're vigilant. We're gonna make sure that nothing comes into our campus, nothing harms our students or our staff, okay? That is for the secure. Now this is the one I know people have heard, probably heard in the news the most, and this is the one that may seem the scariest. It's our lockdown drill. So in this case, this is move away from sight, maintain silence, and do not open doors. And if you notice where it says lockdown, there's some more to it. So whenever these are called through our PA system, there's usually something else is going to be, some other information is going to be given. So in this case, it says lockdown, lights out, out of sight. So it's giving our students some instructions so they can trigger. Now it's usually said at least twice, and so the reason why is because we know the first time we say it, they might not have heard everything, and we want to make sure it's clear and they know exactly what they need to do. So it's lockdown, locks, lights, out of sight. For the adults, recover students from hallways if possible, lock the classroom door, turn out the lights, move away from sight, maintain silence, and do not open the door, and prepare to evade or defend. Now, parents, if you're at a campus and a lockdown is called, somebody there will guide you to what area you need to go so that you can be secured. Okay, so there'll be a lockdown area, usually a classroom, an office, somewhere where the door can be locked, or at least where you can go in behind so you're not so visible. That's the idea behind this. We don't want to be visible. We want to make sure our doors are locked. In most instances where a lockdown is required, there is a barrier, and that barrier is what determines where this will escalate to. And so what we want to do is make sure we have enough barriers. What we do have in place at our district is a policy where we have a magnetic strip. The doors are locked. The handle itself is locked. In the event of a lockdown, what the teacher, all she has to do is go to the strip, lift the strip, close the door. Now it's automatically locked. It's secured. They don't have to fumble with keys. They don't have to fumble with any knobs. It's a slide of a magnet, close the door, now the door is locked. And so this, we do this for two reasons. We don't want to have the door locked at all times right now. And the reason being is that the continuity of instruction. So if a teacher is teaching and a student goes to the restroom, when they come back, they're going to have to interrupt the classroom, the instruction, so they can get back into the classroom because they have to go to the door and physically open it for them. Right now it's open and closed. It's easy to open and close. But in case of an emergency, in case of a lockdown, all teachers are trained, or even a student. Students can do this as well. Just go, remove the strip, close the door, now our doors are locked. Okay? What to do if an evacuation. So this is probably the most common fire drill. Okay? So there's a fire in the building, the fire alarm goes off, we're going to need to evacuate. It could be for other reasons. There could be a chemical spill, there could be whatever it is where we need to have the students removed from the building. So leave stuff behind if required, and if possible, bring your phone. So you'll notice whenever we evacuate, whether it's from a lockdown, from a secure, if it ever escalates and it gets moved to an evacuate, and we want the students to leave the campus, we are going to ask them to, if they can, to bring their cell phone. Okay? We understand, and we want them to be able to communicate with you as well. Okay? We'll send out messages, but hearing and seeing that text from your son or daughter, if they're of age, obviously, we know how important that is. Okay, and so I'll go over that in a few more slides. And this, the adults would lead the students' evacuation, account for students and adults, and notify of missing or extra or injured students. This last one, shelter. So fortunately, geographically and where we live, this is not something that we are having to worry about certain things. All right? So we don't have tsunamis, we don't have earthquakes. So for my department, we're very happy that where we live, this is not one of the ones that we have to worry too much about. But of course, we do have several things that we do have. You know, we have our rainstorms, we have our power outages because of weather. And so we have protocols and we have actions that we'll take, and so that you know, we do monitor the weather and we do make sure we get updates from Texas School Safety Center. We get updates from Region 1 and from the weather department. So all of those things are things that we take into consideration when we're making those decisions if there is a weather issue. So oftentimes, what you'll notice, if there is a severe weather issue, that's when we'll close the school, we'll send students home, or we'll not have school that day. And so just at the bottom, it's just a little note there. This is from the Texas School Safety Center from the Texas State University. A lot of them are materials, and a lot of what the state of Texas is required to do is governed by them. So the Governor Abbott holds them to provide a lot of these materials for us. And then all of this is from the I Love You Guys Foundation. So this is, I guess, the other most important part. So what to do as a parent, okay? These drills are called, a lockdown is called, there is a crisis at the campus. What is it that you need to do as a parent? And so we want to give you some tools, some tips, some information so that we have the best outcome for whatever situation may arise. So we'll notify you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes.
Oh. Okay, I have a 7th grader and I have a 2nd grader. My 7th grader has a cell phone, okay? My 8th grader doesn't. So my question is, during this lockdown, how long after you notify the parent? I ask this because last year there was 2 incidents over at the junior high where a student brought in some kind of BB gun or gun or whatnot. Those 2 times I was notified right after. As soon as it turned 3:30, I got the text. Now, as a parent, when something like this happens, I want to know ASAP. And I know that protocol procedure with you guys is everybody stay calm. But in a situation like that, I will never be calm. And I want to know as soon as it happens. So what is that? How long after that?
Okay, so, and that's a very valid question. And as a parent as well, I've got my my second grader, and so, yeah, and mine doesn't either. And so I know that what he'll be going through, you know, as long as they're following procedures, I know he's going to be okay, and I know what our protocols, and that's why we're doing this. We want to give you as much information so that you understand what is happening behind the scenes and why the instant notification may not come. And so this is why. So in the event of a lockdown, there is most likely, if in a true lockdown, not a drill, but in a true lockdown, there is a threat. So our first priority is what? Minimize the threat. We need to take care of that threat first, right? So our law enforcement, whoever's on the campus, administration, whoever it is that's dealing with it, and usually if it's a true threat, if it's a criminal act, the people that will take charge will be our law enforcement. And I have to say, I believe we have one of the largest law enforcement agencies for a school district in the entire state of Texas. We have over 80 officers on our force. We have one officer at every campus. And if you go to districts around the state of Texas, that's not something that you'll see. Okay, so that's the beginning. So that has to be minimized first. And so we need to take into account that student, your student, my son. We're going to take and we're going to keep them all safe, but we need to take care of that threat first. Before we can even consider, who are we going to call, who do we need to notify, and you've seen in different situations that come out of the news, everything can happen in a different path. So there could be where most cases, it's handled within 70% of these incidents are handled within the first 5 minutes. 90% are with the first 10 minutes. That's the average, okay? Now, once that's done, we still need to secure the entire building. So this is the procedure so that you understand what would happen. If there's ever an event like this, right, they're going to eliminate the threat. That's our first priority. Second priority is now we're going to secure the entire building. We are going to make sure that the information that we give you is accurate. We're not going to tell you something is before we're sure that it is. And so for us to do that, that means the law enforcement officers will go and clear every single room. We will clear every single room to make sure that the threat has been eliminated and all of our students and our staff are safe. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Folk. I'm down here working with Border Patrol, and my son does attend wellness school. He is actually at Prada, which is, I believe, is the most southern campus. Okay. Okay. So on your part, when you said that eliminating the threat, please define that. Because I'm not sure if everyone here awares, since 2014, well, I'm sorry, let me roll back. What is your officer's obligation? Because since 2014, the Supreme Court has ruled that law enforcement is not obligated to take care of certain situation. And there are some counties, I'm not sure about this counties, but some officers are told not to provide medical attention to somebody because that is fear of repercussion, okay? So, are your officer under your district have a separate obligation to protect the students? Because as we've seen, as the most recent one, and I'm pretty sure most of the parents here that are attending, the moment you saw, what this seminar or what this meeting was about, the first thing that popped into your head is active shooter. Is that not correct? Okay. So as we see in the last event in Uvalde, unfortunately, police officers were there on site, and their negligence, not on my opinion, but also other ex-law enforcement and ex-military personnel that have been dealing with these information or these situations, where they found that it was absolutely negligence in their parts. And again, I am not trying to berate any local law enforcement, past or present, but I want to know what is the measure that you guys are putting in and are willing to go.
Thank you. Yes. You can jump in.
Okay, we're going to answer, hopefully, a tag team here. Good points, sir, that you bring up. And I know that everybody's concern is that. I'm aware of that, and that's been my weight with regards to what could happen and what action we would take. And I wish our chief of police were here, Aaron Salazar, but I'm going to try to tackle this as best we can. I've asked that question, all right? And to all the parents who are here, I don't want Uvalde on my hands. No police officer wants Uvalde on their hands. So I specifically asked, okay, what is our practice, right? What are we going to do if we ever encounter a situation like that? ¿Qué es lo que vamos a hacer nosotros si nosotros nos enfrentamos con una situación así, verdad? I don't want people in the hallways. We have measures, sir, in place. The police has assured me that they're training, and they go through active shooter drills repeatedly. They will take down the shooter, all right? That's number one, all right? That's priority number one. Number two, once that happens, then they are to render aid. Every single one of our officers has been trained in stop the bleed, all right? Every single officer has been trained on CPR. In addition to that, we had over 500 people, assistant principals, counselors, our nurses, every one of those, and even some of our teachers who went in to get trained on stop the bleed and CPR, right? We have tourniquets. Stop the bleed es un método que se usa para si alguien está herido, ¿verdad? En ese aspecto, les llaman los puntos donde pueden parar la sangre, ¿verdad? Para apoyar, para asistir, para tomar medidas, life-saving measures on these particular students or anybody who is injured. And that's what we expect from everybody, all right? We train everybody, sir. We have our drills, all right? We have our systems in place, and then we also have equipment in our schools, tactical equipment, that should ever it be needed in any issue, any situation, that we are ready to go, all right? And we don't stop. We have numbered our doors, our windows. We meet with law enforcement agents outside of United ISD, all right? We bring in the FBI, we bring in DEA, we bring anybody else to come, and we beg for outside law enforcement to come on in, learn our schools, all right? We have our police command center who monitors our cameras. We have labeled all of our cameras so that we can walk you through. If you're law enforcement coming to our school and you're paired off with a UIZ officer, you'll know where you are in our building, right? So every angle in that sense, trying to be proactive should the situation ever arise. We are in the process of conducting a reunification drill as well. Hopefully we won't ever need that. Reunification is algo pasa en una escuela, tenemos que sacar a los estudiantes afuera para reunirse con los padres de familia afuera de la escuela. Entonces estamos haciendo esas prácticas para que ustedes vayan a otro local a reunirse con sus hijos. So, todas esas medidas son desafortunadamente, ¿verdad?, que tenemos que hacer esos planes y da mucho temor. Yo sé que da mucho temor. Imagínense ustedes que son adultos. ¿Cómo se siente un estudiante de 5, 6, 7, 8 años? Estamos hablando de un tema muy seria, ¿verdad? It's a hard subject to discuss. And if you all are scared, I look at my little 5, 6, 7 elementary kids, even my high school kids, guys, who have this anxiety about coming to school. And I see why. And it's not just our schools. And what I tell our students and our teachers when I go to training, sir, it's not just schools. You've got to be going to HEB, watching your surroundings. You have to go to the movie theaters, watch your surroundings, and even churches, guys, where you have to be careful for your surroundings. And so, you know, I have a daughter who's 21 years old, who's a little bit of a hothead, and somebody cuts her off in a car, and she's ready to honk the horn. And you have to be careful, because you don't know what could happen. And it's as in any other type of situation. It's just a different world We prepare, sir. We welcome your input and your background. So we have a safety committee that meets 3 to 4 times a year. We submitted our plans to the state. And I can go on and on. Is it enough? Sir, I don't think it will ever be enough. You know, I think we can always have room for improvement. Always. But siempre hay maneras de mejorar en todo. Y lo voy a empezar con ustedes. You know, ¿qué tantos de ustedes se les ha olvidado su identificación cuando llegan a las escuelas? Y se enojan porque le están pidiendo su identificación. Se enojan, ¿verdad? Ya me conocen aquí. Pero, ¿por qué lo hacemos? ¿Por qué lo hacemos? Por seguridad. Y será que it may be an inconvenience, but it is something that we have to do to protect our students. All right, so I just hope you understand. I hope I answered most of your questions, sir. But I always welcome your feedback. grendon@uisd.net, mándenme un correo electrónico. Si tienen ustedes información, ideas, sugerencias, algo que no se ven bien para ustedes, inmediatamente yo, uisdsafety.net, it's something that we do take seriously, but I welcome your feedback because we cannot do this alone. Yes, ma'am.
Quería preguntarle, ¿qué tan fuertes son las medidas disciplinarias hacia los alumnos que hacen amenazas en la escuela? Porque a otros niños se les puede hacer fácil también repetir eso porque se les hace gracioso y lo que provocan es que los otros niños ya no se sientan seguros y no quieran ir a la escuela. Porque yo recibí un mensaje de que amenazaron la escuela de mi hijo, pero que al parecer no había sido intención del alumno hacer esa amenaza y que estaban investigando, que porque no había sido a propósito. Yo quiero saber qué tan severas son, bueno, los castigos que se les da a esos alumnos para que no se les haga fácil seguir haciendo lo
Déjame
mismo.
traducir primeramente a los de inglés. She wants to know what type of consequences do we administer to individual students who make threats to a school. All right? And so, voy a contestar en inglés y en español. Primeramente, la edad de estudiante, ¿verdad? 10 años para arriba puede ser un cargo criminal. Puede ser cargo criminal. Pero si es un niño de 7 u 8 años, se toman otras medidas. No pueden ser criminales. No lo pueden esposar, no lo pueden llevar al juvenil. Son 10 años para arriba, ¿verdad? En ese aspecto. 10 años para abajo son otras circunstancias. Lo que normalmente hacemos es si investigamos. Si hubo esa información o ese comprobante que hubo amenaza, sea estaba jugando o no estaba jugando, se manejan los castigos más altos posible, ¿verdad? Y eso es, número 1, si es apropiado en edad, van para el juvenil. Número 2, no regresan a la escuela, ¿verdad? Middle school y high school van al Step Academy, right? Que es la escuela alternativa en Río Bravo que tenemos. Pero no es por toda la vida, ¿verdad? Se determinan las consecuencias y las ofensas. Normalmente si es la primera ofensa, son de 30 a 40 días, que se les da su lugar en una escuela alternativa. Y ya, entonces ahí se les da consejería, ¿verdad? Se manejan en otros aspectos lo que llamamos Behavior Threat Assessment, es donde viene Miss Elvira Salinas, ¿verdad? Mr. Guerrero. Y vamos en el sistema, tenemos la consejera, administración, que va siguiendo el comportamiento de ese niño. No nada más si algo pasó en grado 6º, yo quiero ver cómo se va a comprobar, cómo se va a comportar este niño 7º, 8º, 9º. Porque si hay un sistema y un patrón, un pattern, ¿verdad? Entonces ya tenemos más información y ya le podemos dar de baja o un castigo más grave. ¿Ok? So, ojalá que le haya contestado su pregunta. For those of you in English, all right, the consequences that we administer, of case, we look at the age of the students, all right? That is number 1, and then the degree of the offense, all right? 10 years and above, we can take them to juvenile, all right? that is something that has to be determined. So we go with criminal charges, and then we go with administrative charges with regards to placement outside of the school setting. All right? So, and that is not, it's not perpetual. It's not forever. I can't discipline a student 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. All right? It's that school year only, and then they eventually come back. But then we have our behavior threat assessments that monitors the behavior of the student and provides interventions for our students. Yes, ma'am.
Yo quisiera preguntar acerca de la seguridad de la policía del distrito. Yo vivo enfrente de una primaria. Entonces, de ahorita, bueno, lo que pasó en Uvalde, Dios nos libre que nos pase a nosotros, ¿verdad? Y creo yo que para ver como una respuesta clara de qué podría pasar o qué harían ustedes, pues creo que hasta que no pase una situación es como se va viendo la cosa, ¿verdad? Pero en cuestión de seguridad, yo vivo enfrente de una escuela primaria y tengo tiempo que yo no veo patrullas del distrito. Ayer pasa mucho, a veces andan persiguiendo gente, porque la primaria está entonces está el río ahí cerca, y yo no veo que haya mucha seguridad en cuestión del distrito. Okay. Yo veo que la patrulla ya casi no existe. Antes yo miraba muy seguido la patrulla estacionada ahí enfrente, ahora yo no. Yo creo y veo a veces yo siempre estoy checando, y entonces he visto que de repente la patrulla se pone de frente, pero no todo el tiempo, ¿verdad? También veo que a la hora de cuando salen los niños a la escuela, es cuando va llegando la patrulla y es cuando están allí. Pero yo digo, ha habido ahí corretizas de carros, de gente. Incluso me tocó ver en una ocasión que una persona se metió a una escuela que andaba la migración y no se percataron. Y llegaron patrullas y patrullas y yo al menos alcanzamos a ver que esta persona entró al aula. Eso fue lo que yo vi por el lado de 9. Entonces, yo creo que para mí como madre de estudiante es importante, porque yo en otras ocasiones he ido, por decir, a la primaria OBJ, y lo que veo en los oficiales es que se llevan mucho con los jóvenes, están siempre sonceando, están platicando, están riendo, pero no están en lo que deben de estar, como seguridad. Eso es lo que yo he visto. Yo lo hablo por mí, por lo que yo he visto, ¿verdad?
Está bien.
Entonces yo pienso que en esa cuestión también, porque yo sí he puesto quejas, yo sí he hablado y sí les he dicho.
Sigue
¿verdad?
hablando, señora.
Sí, yo sí he hablado a la escuela y les he dicho, oye, yo he ido a esta escuela, he ido a estas horas, he visto que están todos los de seguridad, plática y plática, risa y risa. No, sir, que quién sabe qué, y los huerquillos que tienen esa manera de hablar y que todos se están llevando con ellos y se están palmeando las manos y todo. Y yo me quedo, ¿what? ¿Cómo? Si ellos están para seguridad y para respeto, que deben de tener su distancia con alumno y todo, y veo que no, que ellos están platicando, riendo, viendo.
Trabaja dos maneras, señora. Trabaja dos maneras, porque también queremos que los oficiales tengan una relación con los estudiantes. Porque ellos son los que van a oír de los estudiantes quién trae pistola, quién trae navaja, quién trae droga, quién trae esto. Trabaja en dos maneras, ¿verdad? Nada más quería aclarar eso. Yo sé que quizás no estoy de acuerdo, ¿verdad? Pero es una relación que se tiene que llevar con respeto todavía, ¿verdad? En ese aspecto. Pero los estudiantes, los que tienen relación, hablan con los oficiales, eso sí le aseguro. ¿Verdad? En las otras escuelas, pues vamos a hablar, a ver qué es lo que está pasando, pero cada escuela tiene un oficial uniformado con pistola y un security guard en las primarias, ¿verdad? Eso sí le quiero aclarar, que quizás no haya patrulla, pero debe de dentro del plantel haber un oficial en la escuela. Vamos a seguir. Había otra pregunta acá con una señora. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mrs. Rendon, in relation to the protocol for when there's a threat from a student, how long has that been in place?
Oh, ma'am, I've been at least 6 years, 5, 6 years. It changed with
6 years.
legislature. Probably the biggest change that had occurred was after Santa Fe in Texas. So behavior threat assessment was big, probably maybe 4 years ago, and that's when the state said, this is the law now. all right? So it has evolved, it has changed to some degree. You have to look at, and I don't want to take this too lightly, but you also have to see in some situations where we have individual students who are special needs, ma'am, all right? And I'm not making excuses, all right, in that sense, but there are some individual students who, even though we make the disciplinary consequences and make the suggestions, sometimes there's other factors that sometimes ties our hands.
Discipline-wise, well, my daughter was stalked, but maybe it was like 6 years ago, by a young man who was 17. So I feel like he could have been
Absolutely.
convicted of something, but he
Yes, ma'am.
wasn't. He was very protected. It wasn't his first time. He threatened her on text. We had it all. And his only disciplinary action was he wasn't in class with her. Although when she started her next semester, he somehow ended up in class with her. She's still terrified to live in Laredo. She obviously graduated, left, went to school somewhere else, and she doesn't want to live here. She's afraid of this guy that,
Would do
and we reported it. We reported it to the police at the school, and he eventually got the choice to transfer schools when he did it again to another girl. Yeah, it seemed like the school had their hands tied. I don't think he was special needs at all. I don't know what the
That's
why
harassment.
the hands were tied.
That is harassment, ma'am. That is considered harassment. That would be a
Right.
Title IX offense.
Exactly. But nothing was done.
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
she was terrified to go to school all the time.
Title IX laws have changed in the past about 3 years.
Awesome.
2 to 3 years. So there's a little bit more, they're a little bit different as well.
I'm sorry that she went through that.
Would you all say, now that you all have been saying the UISD is the biggest campus, you have all these students, do you feel you have a safe staff to student ratio? Realistically, these high schools are overcrowded and jam-packed. Even when I went to high school, I could barely get through the halls on time to class. In the event of an emergency, how fast can the staff actually respond to having so many students under their care? Statistically, 12 to 1 is the statistic that I have read from many organizations. How fast can police department actually get a handle when you have so many students to take care of?
I would say the response time from law enforcement is 2 to 3 minutes. Well, yeah, in the building, it's much faster. Outside law enforcement coming in, tops 2 to 3
And
minutes.
also a big factor in us being able to respond is to have these protocols in place so that everybody on that campus knows what action to take in those events.
And
So
yes,
that
ma'am.
does help.
Schools are large, but when you look at 12 to 1 ratio, that is not realistic. Not necessarily in today's workforce, where we are having difficulty staffing, all right? We are having issues with not only teachers, officers, bus drivers, custodians, every aspect, we are understaffed. And we put it out there, we've had job fairs, we have opened our doors, we have simplified our application process. We have done so much to try to recruit personnel. And I don't know what it is. The workforce is not what it used to be, where people were trying to come into the district to work. So our response time could it be better? Everything could be better, ma'am. Could our schools be smaller? Yes. It's not necessarily feasible. Our schools range from 3,200, I think, United High School, to 2,400. And that's why we had separated the ninth grade campuses in looking at that. Another question? Yes.
Is there good communication in the school? I mean, right now I don't have any service. So is like your messages to everybody, to the students and everything, are they going to receive it?
We have had those issues, and we've brought those up. We are looking at different devices for our staff members. We have boosted some antenna boosters at some of our high schools. You should have service here. I don't know if you're on the Wi-Fi or not, but we have upgraded all of those components in that area, and we've upped our Wi-Fi capabilities at the schools because we are aware of those concerns. Now, grant you, if 3,000 students are trying to send a text message out, it'll be some problems, right? So we save those for the important calls. Every campus also has a landline, a 911 landline that is also effective, and then we use our two-way radio systems. So we do have some vendors that we have looked at, and hopefully that we can move forward in that direction. It is like about the size of my ID, and it is a panic button for every individual teacher or every employee, and it works as a two-way radio system or a one-way radio system, depending on what we use. And so I would love to have those because no matter if I'm in the hallway, I leave my phone on my desk, I have my tag, and I can call a lockdown, I can call for help. And we're moving towards that direction. And I'm hoping that the federal government and the state government will hopefully fund those projects because that's kind of what we're looking at as we speak. ¿Otra pregunta?
Hello, good morning. My name is Marisela Perez. I just wanted to ask something. I work the night shift at the hospital. During the day, I'm asleep. My son is in the middle school. If there was to be a lockdown, will we be notified through the automated activation calling system that
Yes.
there is a lockdown in
Yes.
the school?
Yes, ma'am. That is Parent Square. So it is important that every parent have their information as current as possible, all right? You will get a text message, and that is immediate, all right? The moment the school goes into lockdown. And it's not for you to go to the school, all right? Because I know what your reaction is going to be, and that would be mine too, all right? Everybody's going to the school, but guess what? They need to get there too. And if you all are going, and 3,000 other parents are going, are they going to be able to get in? So that's where I need for you all to back off in that sense, all right?
And if somebody is injured and we need life-saving EMS, EMTs to come in, and we have all these vehicles parked outside, they won't be able to enter, and they won't be able to render that aid that your son or daughter may need to survive.
Yes, sir.
Have you guys thought about teachers, principals, I don't know, even counselors to carry guns?
Yes, sir. I'm going to give you my example. And maybe law enforcement's not going to like it, but here goes. Don't shoot the messenger, but literally. You have trained officers in hallways who froze. How do you foresee a teacher who teaches 5-year-old kids to be able to carry that weapon and not freeze? That's my response.
Para mí esa no es la solución. Ayer salió una noticia de una maestra en Chicago, no aquí, en Chicago, que tenía una lista de maestros y alumnos que ella iba a matar. O sea, para mí como padre de familia no es solución que los maestros, porque si de por fin que hay maestros que de verdad a veces van, que mejor quédate en tu casa. Porque la verdad, sí.
Pues sí.
Y lo digo por experiencia,
No, sí,
porque
señora.
a mí me ha pasado.
Muchos no
Había
quieren.
una maestra con mi hija en 3er grado que le decía, ¿por qué eres una chismosa? ¿Por qué vas todo y le dices a tu mamá? Y yo fui y me senté con la directora y le dije, me trae a la maestra para decirle primero, la niña no es una chismosa. Yo le enseñé a mi hija que ella tiene la confianza de venirme a decir qué es lo que está pasando en la escuela. Y la maestra enojada con una carota le dije, no, sí, porque yo soy la mamá.
No, yo no veo, no veo el valor, pero no podemos ocupar maestros ahorita dándole un cargo de batallamos, de enseñar a estudiantes. Ahora, ¿vamos a armarlos? ¿Quién va a querer ese trabajo? Yo no. She was basically saying that, some individuals, maybe teachers, are not equipped that's not the solution, that they should not be equipped, because some people shouldn't be in our school settings as employees. And so her point was, that was not a solution to arm our staff teachers. My point is, of course, that we have difficulties hiring teachers. There is a teacher shortage. There will be a teacher shortage, and there will continue to be a teacher shortage. Arming our teachers is not the answer. How am I going to tell you, you want to teach second grade, but carry a gun? Yes, sir.
Thank you for bringing up that point. And in my civilian work, I do trainings for companies and everything. So I've seen in the private sector, in the school private sector, and again, not to knock on the public school sector, private sector have actually implemented where they don't force the teacher to do so. But anonymously, they can volunteer for those programs, because once you volunteer something, you want to do it. You have a better mindset for it. So, like you said, it shouldn't be, hey, if you want to teach, you have to carry a gun. Why not? You have that option. Because all of us wants the freedom to choose what we do. In this setting, obviously, us as parents, we cannot interfere, and we have to let law enforcement do the work. But I've done room clearings, and I've done responses to, active shooters. Well, practice, sorry. Fortunately, I've never had to actually perform that, and I hope nobody else would have to. But you said that there's one officer per school, at least, okay? But that's not a guarantee that there's not going to be, that there's only one or there's going to be more. I think some of the parents, they, when they think about why not teacher capable of carrying, that is just I look at that as kind of like a backup measurement, because when you go into a room, you don't go on your own. And these officers, they're going to need somebody to watch their back. Some is better than none. So I think that's what some of these parents are going to. I don't mean, teacher has to be geared up, get ready to go, full tack gear and everything. Obviously not. I carry them every day too, and I would not want to carry it 24/7 or even like for 12 hours. I know some teachers are here for longer than that. So I think that's just something I want to bring up. I understand the sentiment where you shouldn't live in that sort of fear. But the way that we are living now, everything is sensationalized. We got more like copycats. So to me, again, as a concerned parent, even within my own family, let's say I'm the one that trains the most with firearms, but so is my spouse. And in something like that, someone has my back. And I think that's just, it's just another measure to help. That is suggested,
Yes,
and I don't expect it.
What can they do? Disarm him. All right. That he,
they actually do, like, somebody comes in with a gun, a pop gun, and they take it away from them, they knock them down and everything. So I think that would be good for every teacher to do it, for everybody, custodians, the nurses, everybody, just to have that.
we can certainly go in that direction. ma'am.
Yeah.
We do. Well, we do it for our high school, CPR and tourniquet training for our high school students only. because that is required. But I like the idea of doing, we do the run, hide, fight, but not necessarily, we advise them, but we don't offer any type of like tactical training. So that's a good angle to go ahead and bring. Becky, can you just tell student advisor that I'm running late? Alex, please. I had an 11 o'clock meeting. So, but I'm going to answer your questions as best as I can. Yes.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Mónica Ibarra, yo estoy sorda. Tengo 24 años que estoy sorda y ahorita, sinceramente, de todo lo que se ha hablado, pues estoy como todavía. Pero por lo que está escrito, entiendo de lo que estamos hablando. A lo mejor me salgo un poquito del tema, pero es lo mismo por trata de la seguridad y la protección de nuestros hijos. Mis hijos siempre, gracias a Dios, o sea, soy una madre estricta y estoy siempre checando y diciéndole esto y lo otro, y mi hermana me dice, eres muy cruel con los niños porque les dices lo que está, es que yo digo, yo no puedo tener a mis hijos con los ojos vendados. Ahora, como todo lo que está en el internet, muchas cosas saben, mi niña me saca cosas que me asusta. ¿Tú por qué estás viendo eso? Mami, no, que mira que esto. Entonces, ahora ellos me cuentan las cosas que pasan en la escuela, y hay algo que quiero comentar. Porque me dice mi niña que estaba contando que un muchachito, un compañero de la escuela, estaba en el baño. Eso estaba, desde su hizo del baño, él estaba platicando que estaba lavando las manos. Y que entró el security y tocó la puerta de un toilet. Y salió un muchachito. Y salieron 7 de uno de los toilets. Estaban entonces, desde middle school, mis niños vieron niños que estaban vaping, cómo pueden ellos traer, pues se los ponen, dice que se los ponen en los cinturones, en el cinto del waist. A veces uno dice, pues los niños están seguros, si en la casa no están, con nosotros están seguros en la escuela. Pero, pues si ellos están vaping, están haciendo otras cosas en la escuela, dice mi hija que ha olido a marihuana adentro del baño y adentro de la escuela. Y pues eso, o sea, no les checan, no les revisan sus papás, nada, no les hacen. Es lo que quiero saber.
Her question is more, her comment is more, there's vaping in the bathrooms, sometimes it smells like a controlled substance. And yes, I'm not going to make you all not aware. It does happen in the bathrooms. There is an epidemic of vaping. I will tell you that. Hay una epidemia de vaping. Más de 240 estudiantes ahorita están en STEP Academy. La mayoría, 80% de los estudiantes están ahí por vaping. All right? Y ella me pregunta, ¿que no checan los backpacks? Don't you all check backpacks? Why do they bring a vape pen in? Right? Yes, we do backpack checks. All right? All right? But I cannot check the person. I can't check the person coming in. They put it in their bodies, they put it in their underwear, they put it in their bras, guys. All right? And those who want to are going to get it. Yes, we do sweeps in the bathrooms. But I have, in a high school, 12 bathrooms. 12 to 15 bathrooms. I have 8 security guards. I have 8 admin going in. But yes, we check. We're checking. Right? But if there's a fight in the hallway, I'm not going to the bathroom because I have to stop the fight in the hallway. All right? So I have parents on patrol. I welcome you all to help us. All right? I need your help. They need your help. The campuses need your help. Even if you just go push doors to make sure they're locked. Even if you stand there that nobody gets in. We need your help. Because is it enough manpower? Absolutely not. Is it enough adult to student ratio? Absolutely not. So we need that assistance. So there's an application online. You can ask it for your campus administrators. I have a really pretty vest for you all if you want to join us. It's called POP, Parent on Patrol. All right? And I welcome you all to come and join us in that effort. Yes, ma'am.
Pero yo siento que la educación viene desde la casa, porque siento que a veces le damos toda la responsabilidad a la escuela, a los policías, y yo creo que los que estamos aquí son los que estamos interesados en nuestros hijos, en el bienestar, y pues los que no están, algunos están trabajando y no pudieron, pero hay muchos que no están interesados en la educación. O sea, es tan difícil, yo creo que entrar y que la máquina que está checando, que cheque todo, ¿no? Entonces, desde la casa tenemos que empezar a checar la mochila de nuestros hijos. Yo tengo la niña pequeña de primer grado y tercer grado. Tengo apenas aquí 3 meses y claro, con mucha incertidumbre, yo vine acá pensando qué va a pasar con todo lo que está pasando. Pero en mi casa hay reglas. En mi casa no se ve teléfono. En mi casa no se ven cosas que yo no pueda tener a la vista. Son muchas de las cosas que a veces como papás en México le llaman al teléfono la niñera. Ay, ten la niñera, porque el niño ella se encarga de entretener al niño. Pero siento que como papás tenemos que estar más al pendiente, porque pues no podemos dejarle la responsabilidad a la escuela, ni mucho menos a los policías. Podemos tener a lo mejor, no sé, 10 patrullas afuera, pero si en nuestra casa el papá o la mamá o algún familiar compró un arma y el niño la agarra, pues yo creo que esa no es culpa de la escuela, es culpa de los papás que no tienen la vigilancia. Entonces, ese es mi punto de vista, ¿no?
Gracias, señora. Her point is basically those of you, education begins at home, and the vigilance also begins in the home, because as parents, you all have the responsibility, and I'm not going to lecture, I'm just kind of paraphrasing what she said, the responsibility to search, talk to your child, and educate them first, all right? So as to what not to do in a school setting. So, yes, ma'am.
Threat assessment, yes.
Session. There, we try to do as many interventions, ma'am, as possible. All right, so we do from PBIS. Ruben, you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, so we have our interventions that are in the campus positive behavior intervention systems where we give rewards for positive behavior. We're trying to teach what the positive behavior is that we want them to do instead of a punishment. So that's the focus now, discipline-wise. From there, we have counseling, we have LPCs, we have LCDCs, so licensed chemical dependency counselors. We have one per every high school, and they also work with a feeder pattern. So if it's a drug issue with vaping, they would be referred to that counselor. So we do offer, and we try to offer as much as we can, as well as refer to any outside agencies. And so that's part of our supportive schools programs, safe and supportive schools program, where they would be monitored, and it would be in conjunction with the campus and with the district, and then they would have a plan in place for that student, and it's going to be individual. So we'll work with whatever that issue was with that student, talk to that student, and then go from there, and also work with the parents. And so it's that two-way communication, and of course, why we titled this United in School Safety, because that's what it has to be. It has to be this back and forth, this discussion, and this collaboration. And that's what I want you to know that this is. We will work with our parents, and we want to work with you so that we can together, because we can't do it alone, and we know we can't. And we know you can't do it alone, because you send them to us. So we're going to work together, and we're going to make sure that we can do the best that we possibly can. And and I don't want to, I wish I could be there all afternoon and we could talk, but I know that there are some things that they need to wrap up at the end of the meeting. So I do want to touch on a couple of things that I think are very important for you all to know as well. So if we have time at the end, maybe we can stay and do the questioning. But for right now, I just want to go over. So we do have an anonymous reporting system. Okay, so all you do is go to UISD.net. It's at the very top, keep UISD safe. That'll send you to this page where you can report bullying. You can do it anonymously, but to be honest, I used to be in discipline. The more information you can possibly give us, the better chance that we have of actually taking action on it, as well as report a threat, any threat. Now, if it's an imminent threat, something that you know is going to happen right now, dial 911, call UISD-PD, right? Those are the calls that need to be made. But any other threat, something that the student may have heard, seen, whatever it may be, whether it's through the internet, you can report it there. Fraud and ethics as well. And then the last part is something new. It's school safety and security reporting tool. So if you go to a campus or if you see something that you feel needs to be addressed by us, please, you can submit it there. We'll get the report. It'll come to our office, and then we can see how we can handle it and take care of that issue. Whether it be a door, a gate, a security officer, whatever it is, and you have some information for us that you'd like us to deal with, you can report it through there. And some quick safety tips. See something, say something, do something. It's in our campuses. Please go over that with your students, right? Please teach them. And by do something, I don't mean for them to go up and stop it themselves. Do something is to go and to do that report. Go tell that teacher. Go tell that administrator. Go tell that law enforcement agent. All right?
I just want to introduce the two officers who are here with us. This is Sergeant Sergio Garcia. He does the United South High School feeder pattern, so South High School and all of the feeder schools. And then we have Sergeant Alonso Galindo, who does the LBJ feeders. They're going to stick around and answer, hopefully, some of your questions in the back area. And so every feeder school, just so you'll see our makeup, has a sergeant, and then they oversee those particular areas. So they have, 10 campuses? Okay, 10 to 15 campuses each, all right? And they oversee those, and then they have a lieutenant, and just our hierarchy, and then, of course, our chief, so that you kind of know. I want to thank you. I do have another meeting, or I had another meeting at 11 with our student advisory group, but I thank you for your support. I thank you for the feedback that you have given us, and I just look forward to seeing you at next PLS, at the Parent Learning Summit at United High School. Yes, sir.
In helping keeping the school safe. I don't have a one answer, solution for everything that we have covered today, because I am not a mental health specialist, so I cannot help in that. But myself and another prior Marines that we've both served, well, we're serving together now, but he is a private contractor before, and he is a combat medic. I've talked to him, asking him, would he be willing to come with me to the school to teach anybody who would like to learn combat life-saving, because in the past, 15 plus years that we've been in conflict overseas, we've learned quite a bit in combat medicine. And in these situations, it's going to be active shooter, that sort of stuff. The most casualty-producing issue is not able to stop the bleeding. I know you guys have the program, and we would like to provide our input or anything, because our program is updated every single year. We try to save as much lives as we can. I'm willing to put out my free time, as well as he. We have full-time jobs right now, but we are willing to come in here.
Thank you.
And let's say teachers, obviously, again, we're not talking about them carrying a weapon, but I do believe this.
Tactical training.
Yes, this lady sorry. You've said that a lot of teachers have never dealt with firearms before in their lives, and we don't expect them to carry, but it would be helpful if they are familiar with these things, on top of life-saving equipment as well as procedure, because most of the injuries that is caused is from lack of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I welcome you, sir. Call me, email me. We'll get together with that gentleman. I forgot to introduce them. I'm so sorry. It's Roman Garcia. He's our safety officer in risk management, and Ms. Ofelia Dominguez also. Instrumental people in our safety division as well, sir. And I just saw them, but Roman would be your guy, or just call me. And we would hopefully see what we can do and welcome you. All right, maybe you can do our POPs training. Are those individuals who need to come in?
If anything that you guys find that you guys do want to or to build upon, maybe I or my immediate partner is not, versed in that, I will find somebody within my organization
Thank
that is.
Perfect. Awesome, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
it. All right. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, I just wanted to cover one thing that just came out new, and just it's a safety thing to me for your students. It's Snapchat Plus. So how many of your students have Snapchat or know of Snapchat? How many of you use Snapchat? Okay, so basically what it does is it will allow, if you have your location setting on with a friend, with the advanced, with the $2.99 per month fee, you would be able to see the past 24 hours of everywhere where they've been. So for your students, be very careful what apps they have and what notifications they have turned on, because essentially somebody could see everywhere that they go on a daily basis, also see where they're at night, so where they live, right? And so they might be a friend, right? Because everybody's a friend now, and whatever it is, and so they could have access to that information. So be careful with the apps and what they have. Again, more information. So this is a plethora of information. We were able to only cover a small portion of it. UIC.net, keep UIC safe. Aside from being able to do all those reports, we have a lot of information there for parents as well, and you can go in there and read, and if you have more questions, always contact us. And then also a lot of stuff that we have is from the Texas School Safety Center, and they have a whole section on a parent's guide to school safety toolkit. It is pages upon pages of information, mental health, safety, cyberbullying, sexting, all of that's covered on there. So it's a lot of other information as well. It's really good information. Some important numbers to have. This is UISD PD Department 473-6361, as well as Crime Stoppers. We do work with Crime Stoppers as well. If there's a crime that your student is noticing, they can also call 727-TIPS. Of course, if it's an emergency, it's 911. They'll get a hold of our dispatch, and our officers will find out right away. And also, just another, know the number to your student's campus, right? So sometimes parents, it's, well, I know the school, I know where it's at, and I can take them there, but if I had to call in an emergency, I wouldn't know what that number is. And of course, this was the question section, but I know we need to go ahead and finish up. Thank you again, Ms. Morales.
Can we give Mr. Ayala a round of applause, please? Again, there was a lot of excellent dialogue, and please, if you are willing to, we do value your time, and we know that some of you have to leave, and we want to make sure that we, take note of that. So please stay behind. If our officers are here, and Mr. Ayala will be here, and we have members of our safety team that will be here if you want to ask any other additional questions. Know that this presentation is being recorded by our instructional television department, and I want to give them a big round of applause as well for helping us out today, so that we could also have our parents that were wanting to join online via Zoom. I want to thank our translators, our district translators that are here to assist us as well. Can we give them a round of applause? So again, know that this presentation is being recorded. We will be uploading it onto our website. If you go to the UISD website, departments and federal and state programs, we will be posting it there. Now, your feedback is very important, parents, and I loved the discussion, the dialogue that we had going on today, because again, we need to work together, and this partnership with our school district and our families is extremely important. So please give us your feedback. If you take a minute, some of my staff is passing out some handwritten ones, I believe, as well, if you'd rather do them handwritten. If not, please take a picture. It won't let you? Nope. No, we have to hide this little tool here. Here you go. As soon as that little, there you go. Does it work now? Yes? Okay. So I'll give you a minute to do that. It's just a quick survey to please give us some of your feedback from today's presentation, any future topics that you would like for us to discuss. Again, if you want a handwritten copy, we'll take that to you. It says Parent Learning Summit. Yes, and if you are filling one out, parents, and not doing it on your phone, you can just leave it on the table and we'll pick it up at the end. The next thing that we wanted to talk about before we close out our session is, again, at our family center, and many of you have been attending some of our sessions at our family center, we have a series going on for the entire month of October. It's called Manantial de Familias, and our presenter is Mr. Carlos René Ramirez, and he's actually joining us. He's here in the back. Mr. Ramirez, welcome. We have 2 more sessions coming up next week. If you would like to register for that, you do have information. My staff passed those flyers out to you, but please join us. Very good information for our families. And last and not least, before we close out with our door prizes, I do want to mention that we have our Parent Learning Summit coming up. It is our biggest district event for our parents. It is our big parent conference for our families, and we're very excited about it. This is coming up November the 5th. It will be at United High School. So please, if you have not done so, please register. This is our schedule. We are providing breakfast and lunch for our in-person attendees. Of course, if you cannot attend in person, you are welcome to join us via Zoom. However, the sessions that we do have via Zoom are limited. We have a lot more sessions in person, but of course you do have that option. So if you have not done so, please register for this event. We have of course, Mr. Carlos René Ramirez, who will be giving our keynote address in the beginning of the conference, and then we have several breakout sessions that you can choose from in English and in Spanish that you can attend, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and give out some door prizes at this time. We have 4 door prizes to give out here for our in-person attendees, and then we have 1 for our parents that are attending virtually. So our first ticket, I think I need my glasses. 352. The last 3 numbers. 352. Check in the front. 352, anybody? Oh, okay, right here. Thank you. $380. 380, right here. $405. 405. We have a winner over here. And one more for our in-person, 419. 419. Going once. I know we had a couple of people leave. We have a winner over here in the back. Again, parents, thank you so much. We promised we would end at 11:30, so we're 1 minute early. We are going to do our door prize for our in-person. I mean, for our virtual. And our winner on Zoom is Ricardo Isaac. Please contact our office. I think you can put that on the chat. Okay, so parents, thank you again. Please have a wonderful and safe rest of the day, wonderful weekend, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. We'll stick around if you all want to ask any additional questions. Thank you.